Greetings, all! Today, we'll be taking a look at the uncommon normal-type Pokemon Zangoose, the Cat Ferret Pokémon, and the uncommon poison-type Pokemon Seviper, the Fang Snake Pokémon. Bitter and seemingly eternal rivals to each other, no matter where they are found, Zangoose and Seviper are potent predators that can easily make short work of each other and many others if given the chance.
Zangoose possess white-furred bipedal bodies with small three-toed feet, a large bushy tail that curves out and upwards towards the sky, and hands with two massive black claws each used for most of their attacks. They have pink eyes with a furious look to them, and there are a series of jagged red zigzag markings that cover part of their hands, chest, and the left side of their face and pointed ears. Seviper have a serpentine body form with blackish blue scales, yellow spot markings across their frame, lower jaw, and face, and streaks of purple scales that run along their tail, upper neck, and part of the face under the pink eyes. They are further noted for the massive, long pink fangs that jut out from their upper jaw, being so large they project far out of their mouths when closed, as well as the sharp, toxic pink blade on the tail that is used for direct attack along with their fangs.
For as long as anyone in the world can remember, Zangoose and Seviper have been bitter rivals and have effectively adapted their natural abilities to specifically counteract each other in the wild.
Zangoose, as with normal types of mongoose, are well known for hunting and killing otherwise untouchable poisonous snakes, and Seviper just happens to be their biggest target. Seviper originally believed to have been quite similar to Arbok and may in fact be a close genetic relative, but after being nearly hunted to extinction by Zangoose several thousand years ago, the otherwise complacent creatures developed into ravenous monsters and developed their trademark bladed tail and powerful venom as a means of protection against Zangoose. While Zangoose are normally too swift for Seviper to attack easily, when placed in the context of how sharp and strong the tails are, it would only take a single direct hit to end a fight, and their capacity to readily shed their outer scales to eliminate status conditions, and even the chance to use their fangs and tails together to cut right through defensive barriers, possessing shed skin as their only base ability and infiltrator as a hidden ability, more than renders Seviper a dire threat. As a counteraction, Zangoose have developed a complete immunity to their venom, and gained the immunity ability in the process as their only base ability, or in rare cases where the system has mutated to be able to use toxins to heighten their muscle reflexes and boost their physical offensive power, the toxic boost ability as a hidden ability in the process, in turn meaning the direct hit and only a direct hit to a vital part of the body would actually kill them. The fact that each species has possibly had their hatred towards the other ingrained genetically is what is truly astonishing, as Zangoose and Seviper will instantly track down and kill one another if either species notice the other within a mile radius. This long feud is interestingly visible upon their bodies, as it is believed by some that the strange erratic body markings that decorate their frames represent battle scars and are genetic reminders of the ancient and possibly never-ending feud that has been going on between these species. Whether or not this relationship can actually be linked straight to the genetics is still unknown, but current hypotheses may suggest that these creatures are able to retain cell memory through multiple generations, a prospect that would be more than shocking if it actually proves to be true.
Zangoose are part of the family Herpestidae, whose members are known as mongooses in English, and share much in common with their non-Pokemon relatives, particularly their diet and the massive claws they have on their front limbs.
The claws on Zangoose are non-retractable and permanently on display for the world to see, making them all the more menacing in appearance. The fact that these claws are surprisingly sturdy and difficult to break only makes them more lethal in battle, and serves as a perfect form of intimidation when fanned down in an effort to make them look even bigger than they already are. Zangoose primarily specialize in attacks and techniques that take advantage of the extra reach these large claws provide, and enjoy using powerful slashing attacks, particularly Crush Claw and X-Scissor, to take down opponents in the wild while reserving their powerful close combat attack for serious threats only. Zangoose are surprisingly agile despite their appearance, and are able to outrun most of the creatures they hunt easily, striking quickly whatever part of the body is most vulnerable to attack at any given moment, while they are busy protecting something different. To say that Zangoose are intelligent and cunning would be understating the fact, as they have learned how to catch a wide variety of prey ranging from insects to rodents to even small birds and snakes. However, they are also fairly dangerous to approach even on a good day, as the constant feuding with Seviper has rendered them ill-tempered and easily angered, in some cases even displaying signs of intense bullying and poor sportsmanship. The only thing that Zangoose usually do not fight too much about is territory, because they tend to live in small packs that work among others as a weakly linked but nonetheless cooperative community with no real leader. In looking at their combat attributes, while these mammals do not have the best of defenses or special offenses and are a bit limited in regards to stamina, with most of their base stats being below average for a fully evolved normal type Pokemon, they can still hit rather hard with their claws and are fairly fleet-footed, show the base attack and speed stats are above average for a fully evolved Pokemon of their type, lending them some credence to their usage in battle. Although they are similar to Arbok in that they are snakes, Seviper have no need to rely on fear to weaken opponents in battle, as they gain access to powerful poison-type attacks fairly early on in their lives, and specialize in particular in the Poison Tail and Poison Fang attacks. Regardless of which end of their body an opponent chooses to go for, the results will rarely be very pleasing. On the one hand, Seviper have massive fangs that allow them to deliver powerful bite and crunch attacks to unarmored and even lightly armored foes, as the thick blades easily pierce flesh and flimsy armor like ice picks going through a block of ice, before injecting a lethal venom to finish the job. On the other hand, their tail is adorned with a powerful blade made of organic steel that is constantly sharpened upon rocks and coated with an identical venom capable of easily poisoning and killing smaller creatures with a single slice. Together, these features make Seviper a poor choice to attack directly, especially since they can utilize special and physical attacks equally well and can deliver a considerable beating despite the otherwise limited range of attack types. As with many other snakes, Seviper are cunning creatures that can outwit many opponents and get close enough to use their venom even when they are at a speed disadvantage, oftentimes using their potent glare technique to hold the opposition in place while they strike. They might not have the sheer constricting power of Arbok, but in terms of combat capabilities, Seviper are still the dominant fighters and have a much greater chance of finding use in battle than their relatives in the Ekans family, which is also reflected in their stats, as while they might share limited defenses and stamina with Zangoose and are not that fast moving, Seviper can hit equally hard with both physical and special attacks, even if the former is not as strong as that possessed by their counterpart, granting them above average base attack and special attack stats for a fully evolved poison-type Pokemon, and in turn rendering them something worth watching out for both in close quarters and from afar.
These two monsters are always at each other's throats, it seems, never willing to let up for anything, and it can get quite tiresome after a while. Both of them are potent predators that have developed primarily to handle and kill each other, and this biological arms race has gone a bit out of hand. Sure, they aren't the most dangerous of Pokemon compared to some others, but for humans, they are an absolute threat worth staying away from. Zangoose have those massive claws to deal with and counter the blades of their rival, and their capacity to keep themselves from being debilitated by poison, one way or another, shows just how desperately they want to make a meal out of Seviper. And on the note of Seviper, those snakes all have their own weapons now to counter those massive claws, and they can cut apart their fleshy rival with little trouble if given the chance. This all equals them being extremely aggressive and territorial towards those that they think are in their way, which makes them difficult to raise. Even so, it is funny to think that they share an egg group, so they could make offspring if they chose to. That aside, these beasts can be brutal on the battlefield and worth keeping note of, especially if you don't have an armored Pokemon that can take the vicious blows in stride.
Armed to the teeth, almost literally, and able to make short work of anything without strong armor to fight them off, Zangoose and Seviper are wicked beasts that care little for the safety of others when it comes to fighting. You might need to learn how to restrain them if they enter a fever pitch in the middle of a fight, but this can be done thankfully with some ease once you manage to form a strong bond with them.
Just do yourself a favor and make sure that neither one of them ever meets the other in professional combat. Otherwise, there's likely little that can be done to curtail their aggression and singular goal of killing each other, even if their trainers get in the way.
Thank you for watching this video. It brings me great joy to be able to speak to you all in the world each and every time we meet like this, to explore the many different facets of both the world of Pokemon as we know it, and the world as we live it, through every adventure we have with Pokemon by our side. If you'd like to, please subscribe, ring the bell and all that jazz, to keep yourself updated on content uploads and other materials of the like. You can also follow me on Twitter if you'd like to know right away when something new is uploaded, and my written works, from which most of this is based on, can be found on DeviantArt. Links to both can be found in the description down below. Remember that the world of Pokemon is a place full of wonder and mystery, and you never know what to expect. So, stay vigilant, keep watch, and always be prepared for the unexpected. Until next time, trainers and friends of all sorts, have a wonderful time.